Welcome to this is our 20th LiveRead LA. I know, and they said it wouldn't last. They did actually. I'm Tim. I'm the guy that you email with if you've entered the competition or if you've asked for feedback. I'm the one who writes it and reads your scripts. So let's start. It's Chris's script first, and it's called Henry and Emma, and it is a feature. And now we can clap the actors. Thank you to all the actors.
Henry and Emma, written by Chris Sutherland. Fade in, exterior farm night. A modest two-story home and an old barn rest on acres of open land, lit by a full moon. Upstairs, a bedroom glows with warm light, window open. A pleasant country late summer evening. Inside, a young couple lie next to each other on their bed. Henry, 30s, clean cut, and wearing white tank and shorts on the far side of the bed. Marianne, 30s, messy long hair, colorful tank and shorts on the near side. Both stare up at the ceiling, pondering.
I'm thinking Henry. I've always wanted a junior.
I like Jade. I mean, she'd be a badass for sure.
They share a glance, smile at each other. He turns toward her, props himself up, gently rubs her belly.
You think it'll be a girl, huh?
She pushes him back down, pops up and straddles him.
I know it will.
Whatever you say, darling.
She giggles and they kiss again. In the sky, a shooting star streaks and doesn't fade out. Instead, it arcs toward the house, dives, and boom, disappears into the ground near the front porch. Cut to black. Interior house, living room night. Past a shaggy head of hair, a subtly trembling hand holds a phone. It appears to be the only source of light in a dark, eerily quiet space. On the screen, a video awaits, the play button obscuring two people behind it. A deep, unsteady breath, and the hand's thumb hits play. In video, Henry looking like Bond in a tux, and Marianne like a classy Bond girl, hair, makeup, dress. They giddily selfie tape outside a restaurant.
Well, my dear, you are stunning.
I mean, I bet you say that to all the girls. Not till after dinner. This took hours.
Right. Sorry. We are here tonight to celebrate a very special occasion. We are having a baby!
Henry pulls her in for a big kiss, and the video ends, frozen on their precious moment. Back to scene. Wary eyes stare at the image. A distant rustling off-screen draws their attention. He stands with grunts and groans, revealing present-day Henry. More skinny, homeless caveman than Bond. Long hair and overgrown beard, wearing dirty sweatpants and a worn-out tank. He steps, bumps the coffee table. Clink, clink, clink. On the table, several empty beer bottles rattle and settle. He stumbles past the table and couch, feeling his way in the dark. The house features visible only by moonlight streaming through the house features visible only by moonlight streaming through the windows. He passes a staircase, veers left into the kitchen, bumps the counter, reaches for the fridge, grabs the door handle, pulls himself to it, yanks, stares blankly into the bright interior light at inside fridge, beer, OJ, eggs, bacon, and grape jelly. Another rustle. He shuts the fridge, looks back out the kitchen toward the front door, magical and creepy at the same time, moonlit. He stalks toward it, angling around a dining table and chairs when rustling beckons behind him. He turns, peers into darkness between kitchen and staircase. The phone flashlight now on, Henry approaches. The light reveals a slightly open basement door. He pushes it open, shines the light down the stairs, takes the first step, creak. He flicks the light switch up, nothing. Tries again, down, up, nope, damn. He continues down. Interior house, basement night. The phone light pierces the pitch black space from the rickety staircase, illuminating a room full of dusty boxes, some opened, and memorabilia. Even quieter here. Henry reaches the floor, grabs a baseball bat that leans against the near wall. He scans around, waits. Then, a mouse scurries across the floor. He regrips the bat, about to pursue when zzz, zzz. Henry looks at the phone. On phone, Frank calling. He reconsiders. The mouse hunt can wait. Answers.
Hey, Dad, Frank, sorry. Yeah, tomorrow's still on. I'm doing all right, I guess.
His conversation trails off as darkness returns. The door shuts, and in the silence, a shaky exhale, sounding a lot like a woman.
Sometimes I feel like she's still here, you know?
Interior house, kitchen day. Henry, hair wet from just showering, in a fresh black t-shirt and jeans, plates bacon and eggs for 3.
Like a tangible presence.
The kitchen around him looks like it hasn't been properly cleaned in months. He opens the refrigerator, pulls out OJ.
Is that weird?
At the table sits Frank, mid-50s, clean-shaven, salt and pepper hair, moosed perfectly in place. On the nicer end of business casual, eyes glued to his smartphone, typing away. Across from him, Bill, late 60s, stubbled, combed white hair, reading glasses and overalls, scans the day's newspaper. Neither man heard him. Henry brings their plates, sets them down. Both Frank and Bill ditch their distractions.
Wow, now that's a breakfast.
Smells like heaven.
Henry sets down his own plate and the silverware.
Oh, one last thing.
He retrieves the OJ from the counter with 3 glasses, sits to join them.
Okay, all set. What? Come on, food's getting cold.
You usually bless the meal.
But I can pray if you want, Henry.
Oh, right. Thanks. I got it.
He closes his eyes. Frank and Bill close theirs. A long beat. Henry inhales, exhales loudly.
I'm happy.
Lord, thank you for this meal and these men. Amen.
Amen.
Frank grabs Henry's shoulder, waits for him to meet his eyes. Henry keeps busy, pours OJ in each of the glasses. Then, eyes wet, glances Frank's way. His eyes are glassy too.
It will get better, son.
And we're here for you, buddy.
He pats Henry on the shoulder. Henry clears his throat, sniffs, nods.
Thank you. Now, let's eat.
All 3 of them dig in. Interior house, living room day. Bill and Henry embrace at the front door. Frank organizes some paperwork on the coffee table.
Thanks again, Henry. And say, you wouldn't mind swinging by Jill's, teaching their cooks a thing or two?
Glad you liked it. Felt good to cook for someone else again.
Well, heck, let's do it again soon. How about next week?
Sure.
Bill turns to go. Henry shuts the door. Turns to see Frank at the coffee table.
What do we got here?
Frank sits in the same chair from breakfast, now across from the couch. He's antsy, excited. He waves Henry over.
A proposition for a fresh start.
Henry crosses, sits on the couch, eyes the documents.
You want to buy the property?
Not just buy it, but give you better than market value for it.
I wasn't planning on selling. Too many memories here, family, history.
Yes, your parents were here for a very long time, I know.
And Marianne and I.
Yep, for a couple of years, right, yep. But were you happy here?
I mean,
You love being in the city.
maybe, but we got pregnant here.
I know.
You couldn't have waited to ask me this?
I'm sorry. I thought it might cheer you.
His phone bings. He checks it.
Shoot. I'm late for a meeting. Well, give it a week. See how you feel.
Frank jets for the door.
Thanks again for breakfast.
The front door slams before Henry can reply. He picks up one document, scans it, returns it to the table, turns to lie down, stares at the ceiling. Interior house, kitchen, flashback dream, day. Henry, 5 o'clock shadow, much shorter head of hair, looking fit in his clean tank top and sweats, meticulously nurses 2 pans on the stovetop, bacon and eggs. The kitchen looks cared for, neatly organized, unlittered countertops, no dirty dishes in the sink.
Smells amazing, my love.
He peeks out from the kitchen to spot his sleepy yet still glowing wife on the stairs. Marianne, hair in a messy pony and wearing adorable red pajamas, smiles, eyes slow blinking. He smiles, tickled at her half-awakened state.
Making your favorite, darling.
Yeah, I can't wait.
She plops her way down the steps, slow scoots across the floor toward Henry. He pulls plates from the cupboard, turns expecting to see Marianne seated at the table, but she isn't. Then, 2 red-sleeved arms wrap around his torso, hands interlocking on his stomach. Marianne rests her head against his back, big exhale.
Good morning. Sleep well?
With her still attached, nearly sleeping on him, he turns off the burners, dishes up their breakfast. He spins so they're face to face, wraps his arms around her. They share a smile. He squeezes a little tighter, leans down and kisses her forehead. A blissful morning. Then, Interior, exterior house, living room, day later. Henry snaps out of a deep sleep, still on the couch. He startles again, rolls off onto the floor, thud. Gets to his feet, staggers toward the door. He quick peeks out the window, then opens it to reveal Sheriff Jamie, 40. Her uniform snug on her athletic frame, a tight pony bun, and aviators, of course. Chewing gum hard.
Henry?
Hi, Jamie.
No, seriously, I barely recognize you.
Well, it has been a while.
Sorry, I know. It's just, I've never seen you with a beard or hair that long, or this skinny.
Yeah, I haven't kept up my appearance like I used to, I guess.
Right. Listen, I know it's a year today, and I'm sorry I haven't come out sooner. Wanted to give you space.
Thanks, it's okay.
Jamie goes in for a bear hug.
Come here.
Oh! Thanks for remembering.
So, should I be worried?
What? About me? No, I'm fine. Really?
Sure. I believe you.
Sheriff, we got a situation at Jill's. Need you here ASAP, over. She pulls it up.
Copy. I'm out at the Williams farm. Be there in 15. Over.
She holsters the walkie, flicks her shades back on.
Well, back to it. You call if you need anything. Okay?
Yeah, will do.
She turns toward her police cruiser, heads to it.
And shave that hideous beard.
Hideous?
She gets to the vehicle, coughs again, then turns and sees him admiring his untamed facial hair.
Let it go, Henry.
She hops in, starts the car. Henry looks up, waves, and shuts the door, looks toward the table, the papers, strokes the beard. He freezes, squints at the basement door, ajar and settling. He rapid scans the first floor, living room to kitchen, but no intruder. Deep breath, then he sneaks across the hardwood, grabs the bat that now leans against the staircase, and interior house, basement, day moments later. Henry pushes the door open. He turns, double-checking, nobody around, then peers down into the dark basement.
Hello?
He waits, pulls his phone, turns on flashlight. His foot hits the first step. Creak. He steels himself. Just your imagination. Forges down, gets about halfway, then the shadow of the door shifts around him. Nearly paralyzed, he carefully turns around. He squints up at the bright afternoon sun invading his view when a woman's silhouetted form shifts into the light. She appears to be bald with a petite build like Marianne.
What the?
He looks closer. Something eerily familiar here. She takes a step down toward him, cautious. He leans toward her, then eyes widen. He shifts backward, mouth agape, and loses his balance, tumbles backward down the stairs into a heap on the floor. The phone tumbles and lands deeper in the space, flashlight up, creating a soft light. As he loses consciousness, the woman, still a silhouette, swiftly descends toward him, almost into the light, then fade to black. Interior house, basement, day later. The early evening summer sun still provides light from upstairs, coupled with the phone's bounce off the ceiling. Henry's unconscious body lies sprawled on the floor. A dainty woman's right hand reaches from above him, gently touches his face. The left hand joins in, both run fingers through his hair, then his beard. He blinks, waking. The hands pull back. Henry's POV. A blurry woman's face, Emma, comes into focus and looks eerily similar to Marianne, but not quite her. And no hair to speak of, not even eyebrows. He reaches out, touches her cheek. She puts her hand on his.
This feels so real.
Kneeling next to him, she is fully naked. She giggles, nearly an echo of Marianne in the video. Then, in a voice like hers,
"This is real, darling."
Henry pulls his hand back, scoots away from her, and clumsily stands, still recovering from the fall. She stands as well, fully exposing her body. He takes her in for a beat, then looks away.
Don't be afraid, Henry.
How do you know my name?
I've been watching, listening, waiting for the right time to show myself to you.
Oh, right.
He turns and stumbles up the stairs. She follows. Interior house, living room, evening. Henry emerges from the basement, holding his head, grimacing. She's only a step behind.
Do you disapprove of my body?
Ah, ha. What?
He eyes the throw blanket on the couch, ambles toward it. Again, she follows. He grabs the blanket, turns and bumps into her.
I'm sorry.
Here.
Without looking directly at her, he drapes the blanket over her shoulders, wraps her in it.
Oh, so soft. What's wrong?
Henry rubs his face, then his eyes, crawls under the couch, lies on his stomach, facing away from her. She stands there, concerned, watching him. Moments later, he cranes his neck, looks back. She hasn't moved. Tries a cautious half-smile. Henry's head crashes back down to the couch.
Still dreaming, still dreaming.
He resets to a more comfortable sleeping position.
What did you say, Henry?
He grabs a pillow, covers his head with it. She crosses to Frank's chair, sits, sniffs the blanket again. Fade to black. Interior house, kitchen, flashback dream day. Henry cuts 2 sandwiches in half on the counter, smiles but not from joy. Shakily sets the knife down, losing himself in thought when Marianne enters and closes the front door, tosses gardening gloves off, hangs her sunshade hat on a key hook. She wears beat-up cons, rolled-up jeans, and a graphic E.T. homage tee with a T-Rex flying a bicycle over the moon.
Did you make toast?
Henry regains composure, crosses to the kitchen table, sets down 2 plates.
Not just toast.
She crosses, coughing heavily, and sits next to him. He takes her in. Her skin has paled, her frame thinned, making her baby bump apparent. She shakes as her body fights whatever sickness seems to be taking over. On the plate, she sees 2 diagonally cut toasted sandwiches. One black, his, and the other light brown. She looks closer.
PB&J?
Yeah.
Giddy, determined not to let her condition thwart her spirit, she bites into hers. Choose a moment.
Oh my. Grape jelly?
Yep.
Oh, this takes me back, hun. Thank you.
He smiles back, watches as she continues eating, then looks down at his own blackened version, picks up one half, crunches down through the charred surface, chews loudly. Marianne swaps her other half with his, winks at him, then coughs hard, continually unable to stop. Henry jumps up, grabs a glass of water off the counter, hands it to her, his other hand stroking her back. Shaking again, she struggles to drink while coughs continue. Henry, watching in horror, tries to help hold the glass.
Henry?
Interior house, living room, evening. Henry startles awake, the extra pillow falling off his head. He's crying, face wet with tears, breathing heavy. He looks toward the chair, but Emma isn't there. He turns, and she's crouched inches from him.
Ah, God! Oh, this must be one of those lucid dream within a dream things.
Your face. I feel pain.
Ah, no more touching.
He sits up, grunting at body ache, stands, crosses to the kitchen, opens the fridge, pulls a beer, then plops down at the table. She stands nearby, blanket still covering her. Studies him. Henry notices. She steps closer within reach, keeping his eyes on her. He chugs the entire bottle. She observes, horrified, then jumps as Henry slams the empty bottle down on the table, gives a loud, satisfied... He stands, strides to the fridge, opens, grabs another beer. Emma bounds to him, smacks the bottle to the floor.
Hey!
She bends to pick it up. He follows. They grasp it simultaneously and stand. She grips with both hands, pulls hard, wins. Adjusts the blanket that's fallen off her shoulder.
This won't take pain away.
Oh, they help me plenty.
She hides the bottle under the blanket.
It's cold.
He pulls on the fridge door again, but Emma slams it shut with her free hand.
Stop, Henry.
Stop what?
He turns and she's next to him. It's clear that Emma is Marianne's height, has the same eyes, mouth. Henry's frustration melts into cautious curiosity. He studies her face. Is it her nose that's different? Her ears? She breaks the silence in that sweet voice.
If you're thirsty, have water.
How is this possible?
She turns and grabs a glass, moves to the sink. Henry snaps out of the trance, hand to his head.
Oh, I drank that too fast.
Oh? Here.
He looks from the glass back at her.
Drink. Your body needs it.
He does. The whole glass, to her amazement. Sets it down.
Thank you.
He steps to the table, plops down with a sigh.
How long you been here, anyway?
She considers her answer, returns the beer she's been holding back to the fridge, crosses and joins him at the table. Pulls a chair, sits careful to keep the blanket wrap intact.
For several moons?
So, months?
I've been here long enough.
Long enough?
He strokes his gnarly beard.
Huh. Well, I'm clearly hallucinating and need to sleep so I can wake from this odd dream.
No. I'm real, Henry. Not a dream.
Sure.
He lumbers toward the stairs. As he climbs them, Emma follows at a safe distance. Interior master bed, bathroom, night. A men's razor tinks on the sink. Henry, shirtless and shaving cream-covered beard, stares at the stranger in the mirror. Aside from the crazy hair, not much meat to cover his bony frame. First time in months he's even taken inventory. His eyes shift to Emma, walking into view behind him. She sits on the edge of the bed, blanket still draped around her. She holds a photo, studies it. Henry's stare lingers. It's as if Marianne went through chemo and just got home. But he shakes it off. She can't be real. Returns focus to the forest of hair on his face, starts at his sideburn, without looking up at him.
Such a lovely woman.
He briefly glances her direction, doesn't engage, rinses the razor.
You look so happy.
That's enough.
He turns from the mirror, looks hard at her, as she now stares back, but it's a struggle to keep the tough guy thing going, those eyes.
No more talking.
Razor back to work, he strokes down his face, reveals a sunken cheek, he touches it, Eesh. Rinses blade again. Emma hasn't taken her eyes off him, struggles to hold back her words, but succeeds. Looks back at the photo. The photo. Henry and Marianne on their baby celebration date night. Bond and his girl, joyful beyond description. Her eyes drift up, taking the worn-down non-Bond Henry as he slowly strokes away the year's worth of facial hair. She can't help herself.
Looks good.
Henry continues the shave. She puts the photo down, stands, and he watches as she crosses out of his view to the walk-in closet. Sometime later, the sink, its porcelain white, mostly hidden by a variety of beard hair piles. Henry's razor tinks one of the uncovered bits, then rises to Henry's cleanly shaven face. Just a small patch under his chin remains. A couple of short strokes and he's finished. Stares at his malnourished face. Looks like he's aged 5 years and lost at least 20 pounds. He dives back down to rinse off, revealing Emma standing directly behind him wearing Marianne's date night dress. He comes back up, buries his face in a towel, pats himself dry, turns, sees Emma, stares a moment. She waits. Henry's breathing quickens. She notices.
Do you like it?
He looks away, then leaves the room. Interior house, living room night. Henry, phone to ear, sits on the edge of the couch. His leg bounces anxiously as he listens to the ringing.
Come on.
Through the speaker, the ringing stops, then a thud, pop, grunt. Whoever answered was in a deep sleep.
Oh, gee. Hello?
Hey, Bill. Sorry to wake you.
It's, no problem, Henry.
I need to ask you, you ever been haunted?
Haunted? Like ghosts or something?
Yeah, kind of. But more specific, like, has Sally ever visited or anything?
Oh, yeah, gosh. Well, in dreams, she does.
Right, Marianne does that for me too.
You okay, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
He hears footsteps from the staircase, turns, sees Emma still in the dress. She stops on the last step, half hidden behind the wall.
I just need sleep, probably.
Listen, I can come out there, bud, if you want.
No, thanks. I'm okay. I've got to go.
Okay, well.
Henry ends the call. His eyes get heavy. He drops the phone on the coffee table, falls awkwardly sideways on the couch. Within seconds, he's already snoring, his body taking charge, getting him the sleep he needs. Emma tiptoes over, gently lifts his legs onto the couch to join the rest of him, then returns to the stairs. Exterior farm, night to day. Moonlit landscape surrounds the house. Through the bedroom window, Emma climbs onto the bed, still wearing the dress. Dissolved to, late morning sunlight lights up the same scene. Not much green on the parched land except for scattered trees. A bird chirps nearby. Bedroom is empty. Interior house, living room day. Daylight fills the house. Henry, still asleep, face down on the couch until a shadow moves over him and a familiar whisper beckons.
Henry?
He stirs, turns away, settles.
Henry, babe, it's morning.
Her hands reach for his shoulder, shake him gently. He shrugs her off, turns over.
Just 5 more minutes.
His voice fades. He rubs his eyes, squints as they adjust. Emma glows in the morning light. The dress fits her perfectly. She nervously rotates back and forth, tugs on the fabric here and there. But minus the hair and makeup, she's Mary Ann from that special night.
You like it?
Henry nods. She smiles. Then he stands wary, reaches to her as if he'll go right through, fingers extended, but his hand collides with her arm. He gently squeezes, then glides up to her shoulder, her skin strangely comforting. Emma watches him, nervous. Henry's hand moves from her arm to her face, gentle. He shifts closer, fingers circling her ear, then tracing her eyebrow, her nose, and lips.
Wow.
What?
How the hell?
Both jump and look at the front door. Henry crosses to it, peeks out, sighs relief, glances back to see Emma retreat to the basement.
It's okay, no need to hide.
But she's already out of view. Henry breathes in deep, opens the door. Bill, eyes heavy, flashes a tired smile.
Good morning. Sorry about last night.
Oh, no, not a problem, but that her you were talking to?
Come in.
He steps back, allowing Bill in.
She got nervous, I think.
Interior house, kitchen, day later. Bill sips a glass of water, seated at the kitchen table, facing the living room. Watches Henry sitting across from him, nervously fiddle with his own empty cup.
And went to hide in the basement. Sounds a little crazy, huh?
Well, buddy, I want to believe you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I want to believe me too.
Then, as if on cue, creak. Bill looks up. Henry turns, and Emma steps into view. Bill's mouth drops open. Henry sighs relief.
Well, hello, young lady.
Her voice is less of sweet Mary Ann and more raspy, robotic.
Hello.
What's your name?
Henry looks from Emma to Bill. Hadn't thought of that. Then back to Emma.
In your language, it would sound like Emma.
Our language?
Oh. Well, Emma, huh? That is a lovely name.
Thank you. What is yours?
Oh, I'm Bill.
That is a lovely name, too.
Thank you. Where are you from, Emma?
Very far from here.
Oh, like another country, kind of far?
Like another galaxy.
Well, you could have fooled me. Yeah, can't detect an accent, really.
I've had time to practice.
Bill reaches for Henry's arm, tugs on him. Henry turns. Bill mouths galaxy and eyebrow raised. Both men look back to Emma. Her smile fades. She shifts her weight, looks to Henry.
Is something wrong?
Bill catches the switch in tone, eyes Henry.
Oh, no. My good friend Bill just wants to be sure you are cared for.
Thank you, Bill. I am fine, really.
Bill nods, stands from the table, motions to Henry toward the front door.
What?
Lock me out.
Henry reluctantly stands, crosses with Bill to the door. As they exit,
Nice meeting you, Emma.
Be right back.
she waves, concerned, as the door closes. Exterior house, porch day. Bill ambles down the porch steps, makes for his mid-'80s model Cadillac Seville parked nearby. Henry follows.
Bill, you all right?
Bill stops at the car, turns to him.
I think she needs professional help. Another galaxy? The voice change?
Yeah, that was odd.
And she looks like she could be Marianne's twin. I mean, I can see how you thought you were seeing things.
I still think I am.
Well, I see her too, so it's...
I felt like we were starting to connect before you arrived.
Whoa, hold it right there, cowboy.
What?
We need to know more about this girl before you start getting attached. I mean, make sure someone out there ain't missing a daughter or a spouse or something, you know?
Right.
Hey, I know you miss her.
But maybe we take her to see Jamie. If anyone would know about a missing person...
We?
Bill notices Henry's old pickup parked on the far side of the house, its front left tire flat.
I've been meaning to fix that.
When we get back from town, I'll help you put the spare on.
Oh, you don't have to do that. I can...
I'm retired, Henry. I got nothing better to do. Besides, I don't trust you to fix it yourself.
Touche.
Bill steps back from him, looks at his outfit.
But we ain't leaving till you get dressed. May want to find something else for her to wear too.
Henry looks back to the house. Interior master bedroom, closet, day. Henry, now in a fresh plain t-shirt and jeans, takes stock of Marianne's old wardrobe. A sundress, overalls, another date night dress, several long sleeve button-ups, each with its own embedded memory of her. One by one, he scans them, moves them aside, hoping to find one that doesn't trigger happy memories. He reaches the end of the hangers, slouches. Then, as if she was still with him, he hears,
Henry?
He steels himself, exits to the bedroom, where Emma stands near the dresser, wearing roll-up jeans and a perfectly form-fitting button-up. Fold creases still visible, one Marianne never got to. Henry stares, then tries to shake it off.
I didn't see a picture with this one in it. Is it okay?
It's great.
She smiles, relieved, looks down at her good find, then back to Henry. Their eyes lock. A moment of genuine connection, then...
Hey! Everything okay up there?
Yeah, be right down.
He crosses to Emma, puts a comforting hand on her arm.
Ready?
She nods. He leads their exit in the kitchen.
What I find interesting between reading something and hearing it out loud is one of the things is scene description, and it becomes, it's very, when you're reading out loud, it's a sort of, there's nowhere to hide. When there's too much scene description or you go into too much detail, it becomes sort of apparent. And I think I really like these pages, obviously, because we're sitting here right now. But I felt like listening to it, it took us a little long to get into what we were getting into. And there was a lot of time spent on really minute detail that we probably didn't require.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to sacrifice it all because I know you're setting tone and you're establishing the character and all that. So for me, the scene description at the beginning, once they started talking, things started going. And once Emma appears, things sort of started to move. And then the other thing, when I was reading it, and when I'm listening to it here too, is that, this is going to sound like a random note, but we were talking about characters before, and I really look for scripts where I can really feel something about the characters, and I was starting to feel for Henry, and I sort of wished I could have felt a little bit more. But it's a weird note because I don't want you to get all melodramatic and have him wandering around the house, with his hand on his forehead, going, "Oh, woe is me, my wife has died. What shall I do? Oh, wait, an alien. She will take my pain away." So I really like that you're setting that scene and that you've got the mood and you've got the tone. And I really want to know what happens now. I don't know, there was just a piece of me that wanted to feel, and even hearing it too, I just wanted to feel a little bit more of his pain.
Yeah.
Because this story relies on that pain guiding his decision making in a way.
Right.
So if we don't get a real sense of that, we're going to be looking as people who aren't in that much pain going, why are you making that choice? Or why are you doing that? And so there are ways you can do it just a little bit more, just to sort of twist it a little bit. So that's my initial, now I'm going to show up and let you talk. Sorry.
Thank you.
I enjoyed the writing. I enjoyed the acting for all of you guys. Really, it's sensational. Really well done. Characters. I don't know how much rehearsal you had, or how much.
Zero.
None. Cold reads.
Yeah, cold reads.
The actors really came to life. You should be thrilled, because your words really worked, and the actors were very believable and relatable and alive. The thing I like about it, I like the writing. I like that you, although there's a lot of details, you did craft a world that I could imagine, this sort of rural countryside where someone would invite a couple old guys to have breakfast, even when he's feeling some pain. I like that. That makes the community that the movie takes place in a really important figure in this. And I'm not sure where the story's going, but I suspect the community figures prominently in it, because you've taken the time to lay it out for us. Yeah. I think that my general note about this, in having only seen it once or not even read it, I would give you 3 things that would jump out to me if I were giving notes to a writer on this, and I guess maybe I am.
You are giving notes.
First, I think that a couple scenes do the same thing. And you need to always subject your scripts to the kind of scrutiny, saying, is any scene pivoting the story in a meaningful way, either emotionally or from a plot standpoint or a character standpoint? Hopefully, character and from sort of a character standpoint would be, or an emotional standpoint would be the best pivots. By that I mean that we can't enter a scene, have a scene occur, and leave the scene and have nothing changed. And so we always, it's hard, because sometimes you want to do scenes that give you tone and feel, and they create engagement in a scene level. But if the general story or the characters are leaving the scene in the same way they entered it, then we probably don't need the scene script, which is hard. The first 2 scenes, she's in bed, and there's a very sweet, touching scene. They're in bed, followed by the fun going out and taking a photograph. The takeaway from both those scenes is that she's pregnant. Right. And it's a meaningful thing. It's a meaningful thing in anybody's life, but for them it's a big deal. So again, in 2 scenes, we're doing something that I think you could find a way to do it in 1. Right. And then if you're going to have that one opening scene, I also think that you have so little real estate to define their relationship. And their relationship, Marianne and our lead, Henry. So Henry and Marianne's relationship is so important. Right, it fuels the hurt that drives most of the story for Henry. That you have very little real estate to deal with it, so you want to be very, very precise. And it occurred to me in listening to the very first scene that his last line, he says, the last line of the first scene, he says, "So you'll have it your way." What is the last line?
Whatever you say.
Whatever you say. Okay, I think you can do better.
Yeah.
I think you can dig deeper and find some line there that is provocative enough to make me go, "Wow, that's a special relationship." Right, not trivial, not generic. That was one observation. I think that she gets sick twice, but with coughs, and they're similarly the same feel in both scenes. One is that effectively Henry's not quite noticing, and so again, look at it and say that if you're going to have 2 scenes, you want to make sure the story pivots on that. Like the second time has a deeper meaning for it. Right. So in some sense, making sure that scenes don't do the same thing twice. That's probably a big part of it. Other sort of general observations are Henry's relationship to the events that are happening around him, of course, is and Henry's actions in response to those events is going to define him as a character. And I found his reaction to the events to be a little bit inconsistent, and because of that, they weren't really accessible for me as an audience member to get into Henry's head. So I know he's in pain. And I'm certainly tracking the fact that he was once very together, and now he's let it go to hell because he's drinking in the daytime, and the room's a mess, and that's all very clear. Right. But his reaction to her presence, to Emma's arrival, is of course disbelief, right? Which is great. You're like, wait, this is not happening. Maybe it's a dream, right? But there's a period of time where he is seemingly okay with it, yet not having ever reached any conclusion about it. And I was more interested in that than I was anything else. Like what would I do? How would I? Because I'm always looking for access into the story. What would I do if there was this beautiful woman that looked like my deceased wife? You know, and I think you can spend a little more on that, because when finally Bill shows up and finally says, "Look, this is a lost person. We got to go find where it is." That was like a sobering moment of reality that I was longing for, and I wish that even Henry might have considered earlier or something, some way to make me know that Henry's not insane. He's just facing something that any of us would not quite know what to do with if we were faced with.
Right.
Some thoughts.
Yeah, thank you.
But I think it's really strong. And again, I'll go back to the community point, that you craft a community like that and you throw in these kind of crazy thing happens. And watching the community react, I think, is a really great place to go for the story, if that's what's going.
Great, yeah. Thank you.
Very good. You guys, anybody have anything? Comments? Thoughts? Liv?
I found myself wanting more like action from the characters sooner.
Yeah.
And it's like even Emma, who's an alien, she says really early on that she's been living in his house for months, just by herself. And so it's like, okay, well, what are these characters doing? What do they want from each other? Like, what's everybody's objective here? And I felt that 30 pages in, I still had no idea.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
You say.
So I noticed that when the police officer arrived, like, I don't know if we ever got to her purpose of being there other than possibly to check up on Henry. It was like almost a day on the anniversary, you know, but we never really got to why she was there, because she was called away. And then also she coughed too, so maybe I drew the conclusion that there's some sort of sickness going around, especially with the women, or maybe it was caused by the alien. But if they cough didn't mean anything, then I'm chasing a red herring.
Right. Talk about the cop scene, because as much as it goes to creating community, I thought that was an example of a scene where I agree with you. The story didn't pivot on it, and there's a number of things that could come from that scene. One of which I think was your intention. What is Henry going to do when faced with real authority, and there's this unexplained thing in his house? And so I think is that what the purpose of the scene was?
I think she was I know it's been a year comment, which I realized hearing it was definitely not nearly as clear, that it's been a year since Marianne died.
Oh, that was clear.
We got that.
No, yeah,
Okay.
we got it. Yeah.
So she
We got
was,
it, didn't we?
Anybody else miss it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you didn't, please leave.
Okay, so I think it was almost like Suicide Watch. I think she
I see.
maybe knows that, and then seeing him, it was like, oh wow, you're in a bad way. So, and they go way back, which, you know, is kind of apparent, but maybe not enough. So she knows him pretty well and knew them pretty well. But I wanted her to.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Why bring her in there? Like, what did you want to achieve from her appearing? What was the...
Yeah, so the cough was meant to be similar to Marianne's, and you're right. Emma is causing this sickness to happen. So on her arrival, she made Marianne sick, and she's been there, and her, essence or whatever has been around the house, and so if a female shows up, she's gonna get sick, and that's what happened with Jamie.
What I'll get you in just a second, but what do you see as Henry's I guess his journey, I suppose, to use a cliche, through the course of this movie? Where's he? Is this sort of him finally getting over the grief kind of movie? Is that where you see this, or?
Yeah, it's his journey through the grief to get to a point where he can move on and kind of move on from this life that they were trying to build out in the country. And
somebody said, brought up a question, if she's making the women, if Emma's making the women sick, but Emma's inside the house, I didn't get that the cop came in. The cop was standing at the front door, but she never entered the house, right?
Right.
So I guess I'm wondering what the rules are for the disease transmission. Does her presence permeate the surrounding community the longer she's in it, or is it just localized to where she is? Or?
The way I was thinking of it was, it would permeate the house and be like a little bit outside of it, and then if she travels anywhere, she'll emit. I was kind of thinking of it almost like a pheromone.
That makes people sick. Women
Yeah.
sick. Women sick.
Right.
So do they, I'm sorry, I was just wondering, so if she leaves, do they get better?
That's something I haven't really. I think that.
I'm just wondering, like, is the cop gonna die now?
So that's a good question. No, it's excellent. Yeah. So I think because she leaves, it won't be as acute. Like, she won't get as crazy sick as Marianne did as fast. It'll be a slower process.
But she'll die.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a one time. I thought it was cumulative. Like, the longer you spend with her, the sicker you get. And if you're not with her, you're okay. But no, it's once you've been around her, you're toast. Sorry.
Okay, so now I'm catching on to something. So, if Marianne died of this disease, did Emma bring this disease to Marianne?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a murder mystery. Okay. It is.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's a good thing. Again,
Emma
I
killed
didn't connect that. I didn't connect that Emma killed her.
I mean, things aren't going to end well for Emma. I don't see that. She can't get away with it. Poor Emma. And Mal's meant so well too. She's pregnant too. Yeah, go for it.
I feel weird asking a question.
We're all friends here.
You touched for a hair on Henry's relationship with like a sort of father figure, stepfather.
Yeah, Frank.
But it's an interesting dynamic, and I like that hair that you touched on it, but it doesn't really repeat itself, at least in this. And I would kind of be curious to see how, if that exists, where he won't call him dad because you've used him as a replacement or what, how that changes their relationship and how they talk to each other, etc.
Right. He's actually Marianne's father.
Got it.
And so that, I think, it sounds like that could be made more clear.
I got that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. No, yeah. But he's the one trying to screw him out of the house, right? Trying to sell it. Well, not screw him, sell the house.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was actually kindness.
No, I wanted him to stay in the house. It didn't feel kind. It felt creepy. That's for me, anyway. Okay, come on. Sean.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought the
By the way, this is Sean Boxey, previous insider at LiveRead LA. Well, welcome back, Sean. Lovely to see you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice sense of mystery and like how you constructed the structure, how it's moving. One thing I thought was, like, if Emma didn't show up, what would main character is Henry? Yeah. What's Henry doing? Like he has to be kind of like doing something and then like an interruption.
Right.
And you say he's suicidal, so like he could be playing on that, like anything. I want to pitch, but keep on doing something so that we're like, oh no, and then what's going on here? Is this is this sunshine? Is this good?
Right.
But that's the only thing I thought. He needed to be like right now he's so reactive. Like he was a little bit more active before she shows up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be a little more engaged.
A little more context of his life now.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, one more. Tiffany.
I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Because when I read it, I was like, ooh, I wish I got the rest of the pages. Now, with Henry, you're welcome. With Henry realizing that it's been a year that he's been living in grief, I thought the descriptions, it was very detailed, but it gave me a very vivid picture of the world of him. But with Henry's dialogue, I was missing what the world of grief was for him for a year, if that makes sense. So it felt a little casual, but I know he was trying with breakfast and such, and this might be going along with his comment of like, what does grief look like for Henry for a year? What does that world look like? And just also realistically, like, how was he surviving? Is there a work situation or whatever? What is he doing within that time?
Can I just say when I was talking about the detail, just to defend myself, it got down to when he was shaving, and there were a lot of sound effecty type clink clink on the thing and the gap in the thing in the bath. It's like you could just say he's shaving. Like I get that, or it's like there's a lot of hair in the. I mean, you could save yourself like a little bit, and you're not losing any of the atmosphere. Like, and she's watching him shave. I'm sorry, you can disagree with me.
No, I agree with you. I was going to make a comment about, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. But
Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Or Sheriff Jamie, she goes by.
So the sheriff. You know, I think there's another option, which is you always want to ask yourself, why this movie now? Why today? Mm-hmm. And the 1-year anniversary of the wife's death may be reason enough to answer both your question about what he's doing with his life. I'm sorry, you were asking Sean, what you're doing, and your question about how does this grief manifest itself. Mm-hmm. So I could easily see that with not a lot of adjustment, this is just a day that his surrogate father and friend Bill are going to show up, and so is the sheriff, because they're pretty aware this is a 1-year anniversary, and if there's going to be a bad day, it's going to be today.
Right.
That works okay for me too.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Chris, do you have anything that you want to ask? Get clarity on anything? We are here for you. You don't have to.
No, I think this was awesome.
What did you get from it? Because you haven't heard it out loud, right?
Yeah, well, I think I definitely felt like the details were a bit much. I think the shaving scene in particular was kind of, I was cringing. But man, it's so cool to see the characters come to life, because I've kind of had an imagine them, and you guys all did awesome. That was really fun to watch and hear. Yeah, it was very helpful, I think, to the next steps. So,
awesome. And I think brave of you, by the way. It's really great to see something put out there.
Thank you.
Chris Sutherland, everyone.